How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today got a few more missions ticked off. First one, I thought it might be like it says transport the vehicle loaded with chemical waste, but it wasn't like a damage sensitive mission or not anything that I saw. There's no health bar or anything like that. Once it delivered over there to the steel mill, but it's a little van, which are not exactly the best off-roaders in this game. Sat here in the middle of nowhere for whatever reason. And yeah, I mean, it's off to a good start because the ground's pretty non-deformable at this point. I saw a little lines to a road, and then yeah, already it was like, oh my god. It wants me to drive it the whole way. So I wasn't too convinced about that, but I thought at least I'll try and get out of here. In theory, once you get out of here and you're to the water treatment plant, a lot of it is like sort of driving on a road or at least a firmer surface, but yeah, this thing's just not very good. The AI version of it's pretty terrible. It's in theory got four-wheel drive, but it never seems like it does. The AI version always seems to spin one wheel as if like that's all that's getting power. So it can't even like climb out of that little sort of rut in the ground. Okay. Police car siren just drove past. Yeah, and then it nearly drowned itself, and then I couldn't reverse it out. And since I had a crane literally in view at the time, I was like, well, that's enough of that. Get it on the roof and we're off. Now, admittedly, the crane, yeah, does get beached a little bit here and there, but thought it was bound to go better than this bloody van. It seemed to fit on there pretty nicely. Get the crane like sandwiched down on top of it. To be fair, like, I mean, this van definitely does suck regardless, but these slabs, I've got a few vehicles kind of hooked on them. That's why I sort of drove around this way with the crane. So I just thought I'm not even going to bother. Like, some hitbox will catch another hitbox. So, yeah, don't even need to learn my lesson the hard way that time. Yeah, like, in theory, once you're here, but I'd much rather just drive it with a crane at this point. I already could see my crane arm was just too high. I thought maybe, slim chance it'll sort of phase through, like it might not be a hitbox, but, like, god damn it. It is, however, at this point I was too lazy to get the van off. So I'm like, right, plan B. We had some moonwalk under there, went pretty nicely. The only thing I want to know with that song, is Annie okay? He says it a lot, but I don't know if he ever actually got a conclusion on that. That's why I like Meatloaf songs, like Anything for Love. He explains what he will and won't do. Raise her up, help her down, get her right out of a godforsaken town, make it all a little less cold. He will do that. Cater to every fantasy she's got. Hose her down with holy water if she gets too hot. Take her places she's never known. Like McDonald's or something. I don't know, how do you make a call on hosing them down with holy water when they get too hot? You just throw a cup of water in her face and tell her to calm down. You're like, chill, it's just an orgasm. Then she throws a cup of water back in your face and you're like, how the hell did she do that? Didn't even have a cup. It's an entirely different kind of holy water. Came from a hole, made me say Jesus. It's got to count. And then he says what he won't do, which is something about an interlude Midsummer Night's Fling. Sooner or later he'll be screwing around. He says he won't do that, so yeah, explained it. Yeah, I got to this bridge. Oh, well, before I even got there, I was like, God, it's going to be another bloody height limit. This is why I don't like the steel bridges. I mean, I would have had another option of a bridge to the left. The game decided to go fuck myself, and it re-glitched all the bridges back up. Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was going to fit or not, that's what she said, but I kind of just assumed it wouldn't. However, I know we're not too far off the limit. It was a little bit, see, it's like the bar at the end is actually a little bit lower, scraping it along, causing hundreds of thousands worth of damage. Along the middle of the bridge was fine. These little barriers trying to say there's a height limit. Got down to that one though. 2 down. And I actually kind of forgot that I still got another bridge to go over, reverse, turn around. Probably was a waste of time, so I got to out here and I was like, god damn it. Got another bridge. For whatever reason, it started veering off while I was going under this one. See, I look like a pretty nice straight line now. I'm following the white lines in the middle of the road. I think it's because the crane is slightly off centre and it's kind of slowly seems to be bumping me around. It's not too bad now, but yeah, there it kind of scooted me around a bit. tried to level it back up, but at that point the nose of the van was kind of clipping the bridge. Great. Now if I drive forward, the boom of the crane is hitting the bridge. But again, all I need to do is get the van off the roof and lower the crane, and problems would be solved. But again, too stubborn for that. To speed it up a bit, I actually wasn't here too long. Had a few goes at kind of like, I was trying to go sort of straight enough to get the rear wheel in reverse back off the bridge, but in the end I kind of lunged forward, sort of scraped the front end along the top of the bridge, which sort of made me diagonal enough to where I get a little bit dangerous with it. Reverse. Thought, well, I've got 4 wheels, I can hang at least 1 axle off. Obviously I wouldn't recommend hanging 2 off. Maybe if you had a really heavy weight at the front of the vehicle, but yeah, that was about pushing me luck there. Of course, the rear wheel. Tried to get caught. Bit of an overzealous hitbox there going on. And then I fired the crane legs out. I was actually hoping to like clip the edge that my wheel was stuck on to kind of bump the back end round, but it seemed to scoot me around a little bit nonetheless. I still would argue this is quicker than driving that bloody van anyway. Yes, we made it. Definitely a bit of a awkward place to try and do a U-turn. Is on the bridge, but we made it. And then yeah, just cutting through it is like pretty standard. I'll speed up a bit. I've already been kind of going, I've knocked one more tree over, but I've been through there quite a few times. It's still, as far as I'm aware, unless it unlocked at the end of this, I did unlock a bunch more missions. But yeah, it's not offered for me to build that road as part of a mission yet. But I've drove up and down there quite a few times, knocked all the tree stumps, trees out of the way, so other than actually laying a road, I've kind of got most of it cleared. Each time I've passed, I've kind of knocked a few extra trees down. Yeah, it wouldn't let me like just drive the van into the zone. I had to, even when I threw or crashed to get the van off the roof, it still didn't, so I had to put it back on its wheels and physically drive it in. Pretty hard day. Yeah, next, clear the area of objects. Prepare sites for water treatment facilities. I was thinking like it's going to make you clear every little tree, shrub and bush going. For no apparent reason. To be honest, it was just because it was spawned and already here and near-ish. And my assumption was, one, this is actually not a particularly slow truck, so I'll get there quicker. Yeah, it was like, I was thinking it might end up making me bring the tree mulcher, but it didn't. There is actually a tree that's fallen over that I believe is like technically in the zone, but it doesn't actually count it. Again, at this part I thought it was going to make me knock every little tree going, but once you get here it kind of does the orange triangles, and it's just all the big main trees really, so all these little ones I'm knocking down don't even count. And yeah, in the end, I mean, a tree mulcher, I don't know, could have brought a bulldozer. I just thought it was going to take a while to drive here. Yeah, one way or another, you could bring a tree logger stump, you know, like to chop the trees down, but then you're going to have all the tree stumps left, which I didn't test it, but I'd be willing to bet it would still moan if you left a tree stump, so yeah, just quicker to ram these out. I'm not sure then if I got like the first tree falling kind of helped boost the second tree over. You could see there though, there was like one of those downed trees that would need a mulcher to get rid of. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be a mission here in the future to build a road. Maybe it doesn't, I mean, there's not like a overlay of a road or anything. But I was going to say, there's a slight chance in the future something we've got to do there. That fallen tree might get in the way, but yeah, it didn't make me bring a mulcher or anything. And then yeah, the next patch was kind of back down this way. Like, it would have gone alright, but as you can see, the bridge is all cockeyed. I knew jumping off of the first bit, but I kind of clipped my tyre on the next ledge and fell off, but fired some winches out and we got there. This vehicle's not quite good at pushing trees over, but it's not very good. I mean, I don't even know if that would have gone. I kind of like, as I was pushing against it, I then fired a winch out to another tree, and between both of them there's enough leverage to get it going. All in all though, it didn't really take that much longer, because I was like, as I'm doing now, basically winching to every other tree. It's probably about as quick as it's going to happen, really. I mean, that one I could have just drove around at a better angle. But I was stubborn. Got it done though. And then that unlocked a mission, I believe, that says collect steel beams, which I was umming and ahhing at this point. I know at some point I did, it might have been after this one, Oh yeah, it's a mission where you got to deliver a load of pumping equipment, but one of them is to do an AI route. So every time I kept clicking on it, it kept taking you out the bloody mission menu. So yeah, just get that one done quickly. Pretty simple route. That's where I just reverse with the van and the crane and everything. I believe it might only be like a one-off route as well. Oh no, actually, it says per truck, and had like a larger amount of money, so maybe it is quite a few to go. I think like I ended up, it's gonna sort of interrupt a couple of my other AI routes, but I believe they've already paid out, so I sort of, that one will take priority. And then yeah, for this, there's 4 items in total you got to deliver, but if you look, they're in like 2 bunches, and it wants 1 item from each bunch to a location, and then 1 from each to the other one. I know that's not explained probably too well, but you'll see as we go along. There's like, yeah, not too bad just ramming that out of the way. I was going to knock them large pipes out of the way, but I think that was a bit better. And then yeah, getting to this point, there's a couple of train cargo things to move out of the way, train carriages even. And then yeah, at this point there's like 2 cargo containers, and again you want like 1 for each location you got to take them to. So I still think this is, I could have been a bit more efficient maybe. Like now I'm at them, I just wanted to double check as well. The cargo container I'm next to now is the one I need to get first to take to the zone that's pretty nearby. Yeah, I ended up using this crane because you've got to grab these pumps, but they're under, like, you can see that sort of framework with all them concrete slabs laid on top, which you can actually move them, but the first pipe, kind of one of the slabs was missing, so I was able to sort of reach under and grab that one. And then at this point I could grab that cargo container, but I thought it would be better to just go there first, grab that water pump, and then back to the cargo containers, because I figured those cargo containers are just pretty massive. They're not fitting in the sideboard regardless, and then you're a bit sort of boaty and flopping around, so I figured I'll go and grab this one first. But what I could have done, probably to make life a little easier, is just use that big yellow gantry crane to get both of these pump things out of there, pick them both up now, and then when I go to grab this first cargo container, probably just threw one of the these pump things kind of out just next to the other container. But apart from that, went pretty smoothly. Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of a fat wheelie at this point. It was not too bad now. I was still able to steer, just I was kind of like flooring it and letting off to let the nose of the vehicle kind of settle down again. Got over this bit though, it was going alright. Just got to get up this hill. And yeah, you can see it's only 100 metres away where I've got to deliver these first ones. And it was going alright, but then it started swerving off to the left, and then at this point it started wheeling, so obviously I've got no steering, so it should have been simple, but just catching on the edge of everything, like, and again I couldn't really straighten the wheels up unless I just accepted that I've got to roll back down the hill. Get a bit of a better line of approach. Possible thumbnail there. I was like, no, not yet. Sort of taking my time, and then I can hear an engine approaching behind me, which I knew would be one of the AI. To be fair, he probably, well, I don't know, it's the semi-truck. As they might have boosted me up the hill, but there's also a good chance he would have done nothing, ran out of steam, and probably got stuck on the hill himself. Undercutting me like a beast. Just miss that lamppost. Go through here. I've already rammed these gates open. They seem to be like, it looks like they've got a bar across them, like they're locked, but I just crash into them and they open pretty easily. Scrape everything and smash it on the way, but once you get here it just automatically takes them, auto de-straps it all, and job's a good one. Yeah, for this one the other pump is kind of hidden under here, so I had to grab one of them, move it over, and then I could get the pump, not that I care, but I had to knock both those slabs off really, because that part of the gantry crane wouldn't move over far enough, so I had to kind of grab the pump on an angle. That's what she said. Yeah, all I did different this time really was strap the cargo on sideways and put the pump on my roof instead, just so it's kind of like evens the vehicle out a little bit more. Basically just go around there, over my sturdy bridge, and yeah, to the machine yard. It's just south of the tunnel exit base. That bridge you can see like the ghost. I'm not going to do that one. From bird's eye view it didn't look that slanted, but yeah, I'll probably have to add an extra notch of concrete slabs for that one, which again I wouldn't have needed if the bloody bridges stayed up after I completed the mission, which rewarded you with lowered rail bridges. And the game ruthlessly stole them off me. Sturdy bridge still doing its job. Saw a bit of flex there though. Not that it matters, I think it's still all good. I just mean like it's actually a vehicle got enough stuff stacked on it to be heavy enough to make it sort of flex a little bit. The game with its stuttering frame rate, just as I was like cock blocks your steering input and all the rest of it while it's happening, nearly made me swerve off the bridge. And then now the frame rate took a nosedive to about 10-20 FPS, so just quickly stopped, quit and reloaded essentially, and then yeah, into this yard. Somehow didn't smash that fence. We'll make it through the gap. It's a bit of a squeeze, typical. The bloody pump fell off right at the last second. And again, I mean, I'm just no. I suppose it's part laziness, but it's annoying having to keep holding the button down to enter the crane mode. So even though this probably theoretically took longer than just objectively holding down the button, enter the crane, pick it back up and drive into the zone, felt more rewarding. Ramming it on the right hand side, skid it around into the base. Yeah, auto took it, and then yeah, at this point I was at 67%, and I sort of quit to the main menu, but I was like, oh, I don't know, I sort of want to do this mission. I'm just gathering some steel and stuff at the minute, but the mission says like create steel beams, and you got to deliver. You need 8 steel beams in total. I have already got 5 technically stored up, so I could even now. I've got 5. I think once I cash this in, it's 8. I still think those Voron truck things are a bit of a pain in the arse to move versus the car, considering they're not really worth that much more. And yeah, went and found a pipe from somewhere. I actually got it kind of like lodged under my crane, sort of pinched down, so got it lengthways. But it's still, I kind of tried to go around this corner, but it was going to hit those vehicles that are hooked over the wall, so I had to reverse it in instead. Threw this one in. I mean, it was a bit extra really. I only needed 8 steel beams, but I don't know. We got enough to spawn 12. And jumped in my Voron, which is hanging on the wall. But yeah, for whatever reason, I'm accelerating forwards now, and the wheels are absolutely not moving at all. And then I put it in reverse at some point, and it kind of doesn't move for a second or two, and then just kind of bumps itself up. Right, good. We're on the way. My little gate ramp thing. See, Loaf made that. God, how professional he is. Yeah, over to the steel beams thing. Spawn. I spawned 10 in the end, because for some reason I thought it was 5 I needed to each one. But it's only 4. And then yeah, the places are pretty much the same place again. One there at the central railway station, and then that machine yard thing again. And yeah, pretty hassle-free drive, to be honest. I cut most of it out because I just had to go back along that non-built road again. Yeah, over that pivot bridge again. Get it. I mean, it ticks it off the list, but it doesn't take them off you for this mission, so you have to manually flick 4 of them out there. Just spring load the first 2. Fire that one out. Made it pretty far. Like a Russian log thrower. Yeah, 4 of them. Machine yard. Which again, I'll cut most of it ahead. I'll keep the video a little bit shorter. Back over sturdy bridge. Various vehicles dumped here, there and everywhere. The dozer I purposely dumped off that ledge because not only didn't it fit over the bridge, it was doing something else that was annoying. Yeah, I actually aimed for the staircase on this one because I realised I probably wouldn't be able to get up normally, and then the front wheel actually did kind of get up. The rear was not as keen, but eventually I just thought, right, steer into it, floor it, and hope for the best. And it went pretty well. Started climbing up here. Don't have to drop those ones off manually. However, well, we got a cutscene. For one, why can't we drive a boat? That's what I want. But I didn't hear any kind of banging and crashing going on whilst it was doing this little cutscene. However, when I went back, my vehicle's just laying on its side. You can see 2 steel beams are scattered because I accidentally took 2 extra. I was thinking like, what the hell? This wasn't me for once. Trying to steer it, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to jiggle enough to start my engine, but it was having none of it. I'll have to send a vehicle in. And it was like, what the hell? I didn't even touch that thing, whatever it is. I don't even know if that was there before. It might have spawned. I don't know. Maybe it spawned as the cutscene, and then it like morphed into my vehicle, and they all freaked out and sprung everywhere, and my vehicle tipped over. God knows. I just checked. I was like, well, worst case, I could reach it with a tool crane. So I was just considering, like, do I, you know, force quit the game so it doesn't save? But I don't know. I think it's just going to be cutscene again. Loaf showing me talents, showing that bridge. You don't need a bridge. Did a nice flip. Was like, come on, Loaf. Just stalled. You can see now, like a crocodile, peeking out. The bridge doesn't even know that he's there. A little bit of help from the crane. That'll do. Swap back to Loaf. Fire that engine back up. Makes it out of there. Yeah, I still keep messing around near these bridges because you never know. On the tiny chance it works. Must have seen the missus coming. Might dive immediately. See? Stealth submarine mode. Wouldn't even know he's there. Hide and seek champion 2025. Yeah, anyway. And then after doing that steel mission, I only had one more, 68%, not quite 69. Missions 25, yeah, we're getting on for 2/3, I would say. And then a few more of the stats, not really changing that much, other than the main objectives are ticking up slowly. Yeah, that's about it for today though. I hope you enjoyed, I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf because he's a whopper, and I'll be back soon.